of Diwas, this great meet to showcase the women power, and as if to symbolize that, our very, very beloved guest who symbolizes indeed women and power, Lieutenant Governor Kiran Bedi ji from Puducherry. Welcome you, Madam, on behalf of all of us. I believe that because of her august and esteemed presence here,
Namami me manasa sirasa nada tanumani shankaram. Namami me manasa sirasa nada tanumani shankaram.
And in particular thanks to Madam Kiran Bedi, who is our chief guest, who is the Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry. We have been trying to connect with her and get her here for the past 3 Divas occasions. Something or the other, our paths have been crossing, so I'm so immensely grateful for your presence here today. As soon as you mention the name Kiran Bedi, the image that everyone has is this incredibly powerful woman of valor, woman of integrity, and woman who's an activist. And that's why we salute you, Madam.
Thank you for inviting me and for giving me such a wonderful opportunity to be amidst you. I want to thank the following for making this happen for me. Dr. Usha Sriram, who's the founder of Divas. What an impressive doctor she is. My friend Shivani Arora tells me what a dear doctor she is to thousands and thousands. Dr. Lalita Balakrishnan, who's the principal of the MOP Vaishnav College, right? Dr. Girija Vaidyanathan, the former Chief Secretary, Tamil Nadu, whom I've had the opportunity to interact and meet with. Dr. Hema Divakar, and my friend Shivani Arora, due to which I'm absolutely here with you, a very dear old friend, a writer and a journalist, who's with her mother here, who's my very special guest at Raj Nivas always. So grateful that she's also present here. Many eminent doctors who are present amidst most of you, and friends. Yes, that's true that somehow I missed Divas for last 2 years, for something happened which had to be attended first. It's something like urgent and important. So one has to make choices in life, what is urgent and important. Today it was both. This was urgent and important for me, and I'm so happy that I could make it. You're talking about diabetes. You're talking about health. You're talking about health of women. To my mind, health is the best blessing nature gives us. Because everything follows health. Wealth doesn't follow health. It's wealth which follows health. It's not wealth which only brings you health. Therefore, if we value health as the most precious blessing of divinity, then one would move much more into preventive health. And I'm a believer in power of prevention. One must do anything possible to prevent the wolves at the door. It's like any disease is a wolf at your doorstep. So whatever one can do to prevent, because there is a percentage where you may prevent and yet it comes to you. Something like coming through the DNA, where you can't do much except to continue to treat it. It's like exactly what Dr. Usha Sriram said, something which is inherited through the womb of the mother, or which comes through the genes, or come through the DNA. Until the science is able to isolate that gene of ill health, we will continue to inherit some things which we as children or children in the wombs may not be able to prevent. So friends, let us prevent whatever we can. And then let the science work its hardest to treat it and somehow isolate that gene so that the child who's born is born healthy. We've all gone through our own families. It's a healthy mother which produces a healthy child. But it's also a healthy father who produces a healthy child. And I've seen in many, many places, when I give away some prizes at places, and I find very tall people. And at another places, I see people half as short as I am, short people. And I start wondering, where did this health, this height come from? Well, it came from the genes. And also, healthy parents, where the mother and the father, both tall, they produce normally a very tall child. And you see it either coming from the mother or the father. And when both are tall, they produce basketball players. Or they produce tennis champions who can hit the ball and get an ace in the service. But those of us who were born short had a short mother and a short father. And where did that height come from? It also came through the genes. So friends, what we inherit probably is 10%. But 90%, as research says, is self-called for, which is called calling the wolf at the door. To my mind, the key to good health is primary prevention. And primary prevention, time goes back to your personal management. It's personal management, which is the primary prevention. And what is personal management? It starts from the top till the bottom. It starts from the head to the toe. It starts from the head, and as you travel within and without, it is primary health prevention. Now, when I say when it tops from the bottom, I have two instances to give you. Science establishes that 90% we are responsible for our own acts. 10% is nature sent. For instance, Chennai water situation. Let's look at Chennai water situation. Chennai water situation probably is 90% man-made and 10% nature sent. Similarly is health, or anywhere. Now, since we are in Chennai, and I know I've got a lot of flack for saying this, but the fact is, that's a fact of the matter. And we're sitting right before, is 90% is man-made when we cover up our water bodies, build construction in it, choke it up, not clean it up, and let it be, and not do any water harvesting, and think the water will be enough for everybody. That's 90% man-made. Similarly is health. 90% is our generated, 10% is gene generated. So if 90% of us prevent and do whatever it takes, what does it take? It takes is another 90%. It's called 10-90 formula, where I heard a particular discourse in a very nice spiritual session, where that discourse speaker said something. He was from Pune, and he said that we focus more on this 10%. We clean it up, we go to a beautician, and we get it all groomed very well, and we also dress it up very well. We also comb our hair very well. We shampoo them well. And then we also do a lovely, interesting makeup, though there's none on my face right now. It's a makeup to look very bright, because we all want to look beautiful. But then we forget the 90% below. And 90% below is hidden. Whether we're wearing fresh clothes within, or it's nourished and massaged as a body, or what's gone inside the stomach, whether it was good for me, or excess sugar, or excess food, which makes me put on weight, it's a 90%. So 10% is this, but this within the 10% is something hidden within, which is the thoughts, the mind, which decides and dictates the body. So it's a 90-10 formula. 90-10 formula is 90% we are responsible for our own acts of commission or omission, and 10% are nature sent. In the other hand, when it comes to internal health issues, it is 10% which gets our attention, but 90% doesn't get as much attention as what we feed or what we do with our body. How do we discipline ourselves to maintain good health? So friends, if we all work on this understand this 90-10 and also the 10-90, I think we could keep the wolf away from the door. But if we don't, and if we go the other way around, then wolf will always be at the doorstep. 10% it happens. It happened in my own family. My sister, younger sister, brilliant psychologist of international repute. At the age of 60, I just got a phone call and she says she's been detected with breast cancer. And she was one of the most disciplined person you could come with. She fell in that 10% category, a most disciplined person who would eat nothing wrong, who would think nothing wrong, who would do nothing wrong except serve the people in need. One of the purest thinking human being for who her life was very value-based, most clean, most hygienic, and very, very personally disciplined in every way, from mind to thought to food. And yet she fell into the 10% category, because by the time it was detected, as it's always said in medical, I wish it could have been detected early. Just 1 year she mixed her medical checkup. 1 year, by the time that breast thing had canceled through the lymph nodes, and for 3 years she struggled for her life. I believe tomorrow is Sisterhood Day, or today is on the eve of sisterhood. This is what happens. And this problem and this disease was not at all in our family. All family of sports would start disciplined way from the beginning till the end, a sports champion in her own rights. So friends, there is a 10-90 if we all value and understand in our life. Once we do follow this, a personal discipline follows. Then we look at ourselves from what are we thinking, what are we doing, what are we eating, where are we sitting, who are we working with. I recall one of my very important, very interesting award-winning ceremony. I was invited to Bombay and said, come and receive this remarkable award. I won't mention the name of the award. And friends, I went up on the stage, but the noise in the whole auditorium was so loud that I couldn't just stay on. It started to thump on my head. I asked myself, what is more important, receiving this award or my own health here? And friends, I walked away from that award saying, I want to thank you very much, but I can't take it anymore because my head has started to pound. The noise is just too much. Now, these are decisions one makes in certain times where it may be offensive. But after all, you owe good health to your own self. Nobody else. You can't borrow good health from another, but you can look after your own self. So it's like coal to the castle. I don't want to bring coal to the castle. You are the experts in this field. I just live a personally disciplined life, and yet you never know when that 10% strikes. But 90% is, I eat right, though Raj Nivas is full of good food, but I eat very little. Raj Nivas has a lot of comfort, but I put myself into stress in the time. It's positive energy, it's exercise, it's watching nature, being with the birds, and getting back to work without any selfish interests, without any loss of personal integrity, continue to serve. So friends, once you live a life of that 90-10 and give 90 of yourself, let the 10, if 10 happens, well, it had to happen, you can't help it. But if it happens, then doctors like you are there to serve, to look after you and bring you back to good health. So friends, I want to thank you once again for bringing me to this much awaited event. I want to thank once again Dr. Usha Sriram for being so kind in your introduction and being such a good doctor of repute, and Dr. Balakrishnan, Girija Vaidyanathan, Dr. Hema Divakar, most of all my friend Shivani and her mother's presence. Wish you all very well. May you all succeed in this collective effort of Diwas. What a wonderful forum it is. And you're right, polio is gone, HIVs come under control. Why can't we let this issue also one day be absolutely minimized? And I recall one of my author of a book, one day he was working on the book and he says, ma'am, mujhe diabetes ho gaya. So he says, ma'am, अब मैं रोज सुबह 4 बजे उठता हूँ. Look what he did. And I met him again. He's zero diabetes. He's zero diabetes. He immediately was alerted. He was detected as diabetes. 4:30 he's on the walk track. He doesn't take anything out of the time of the schedule of eating. The personal discipline he follows as a regime because he was so scared of this to let it grow. He was so close to his family. He didn't want his daughter to ever think that father has diabetes. Gets up at 4:35, out on the running track, exercises. After that, doesn't eat anything out of time. He doesn't. He keeps a regular schedule. He goes to bed early. He is so disciplined that when I met him about few weeks ago, he said, "Ma'am, I have no diabetes." Whatever I would offer him, he wouldn't eat. He said, "No." He wouldn't take tea, anything or anything. He would not take, and I didn't even force it, because that's the right thing to do. If he doesn't want anything, why put it in which doesn't go? So friends, it can be prevented, but it requires a regime of absolute discipline. I have a case which is personally heard, and I was thrilled when he said that he's diabetes-free only because of his strict discipline. Even I have a personal OS officer in special duty, a very person, an IS retired, who also was detected to do a lot of stress at work. He regularly went to a fitness schedule, ate correctly, and lived correctly. And today he's also absolutely got the mastery over his own disease. So I do believe this is one issue which can be overcome and which can be surmounted. As I said, the last 10%, detect it early, prevent it early, or control it early. You have to keep away from goodies of chocolates, of rasgullas, of jalebis, and so many other things. They're very delicious, but they can wait. They can go. They can be for others, but not for us. Those who can afford, but we can't. Let it be. But even for those who've not got diabetes, even then it's not meant for us. I can't eat a jalebi, even a pakora in a whole year. In a whole year, I don't think I've eaten a jalebi or a pakora or anything for a whole year. Whole year. It's just right there for me. I offer it to others who want to eat. But I never force anybody to eat. If you come to my home, I'll offer you. But if you say no, I'll never say, no, eat. No, I will not. Because I respect your right to say no to food which you don't want. That's all this about. I think it's all about personal choices. What kind of lifestyle one wants to lead, what kind of energy one wants to build, what kind of contribution one wants to make society, because without good health, you cannot do this. So thank you very much once again, friends, for inviting me here today, and wish you all, Divas, the very best. Thank you.